To the regularly scheduled public meeting of April 6, 2020 of the Township of Washington Township Council. A meeting notice amending the time of the meeting was sent on March 23, 2020 in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by the Township Clerk, and this notice has been posted on the Township Bulletin Board and on the Township website. Okay, we're going to salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
of the United States of America,
and to the republic
for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Present.
Councilman Cumming.
Here.
Councilman DeSeta.
Here.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Here.
Council President Feeney.
Here. Let the record reflect also in attendance Mayor Peter Calamari, Township Administrator Tovo, Township Attorney Power, and Township Clerk Sue Wachowski. Okay, the few public service announcements for April 6, 2020, coronavirus. For information and the latest updates, please visit the Township of Washington homepage. Currently, there is a scam.
Hold on. Jim.
Not deploy teams to go door to door. Residents should not let these people into their homes or speak with them. Contact Township of Washington Police Department if this activity is reported. Closures and cancellation alerts. The Township has decided on the following closures to mitigate the potential transmission of COVID-19 in our area until further notice. The municipal building is closed to the public with limited staff on any given day, and all offices may be reached by phone and email.
Well, you want that phone?
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
You okay?
The DPW yard is closed. Household debris pickup. New Jersey tree recovery event. April shredding event at Town Hall. The library and senior center senior activities closed and canceled. All spring recreation sports are suspended at the current time. All township parks, playgrounds, and fields are closed to all activities. Garden and grass collection will begin today, April 6th. Visit the township website and DMF page for the schedule. Please. Okay, this is a public service announcement from the tax collector. Please note that at this time, the due date for Q2 2020 taxes remains May 1st with a grace period through May 11th. We will update you if this changes. For your convenience, there is a new drop box at the front of the municipal building to drop off your payments. They must be clearly identified with your address or block and lot sealed in an envelope and addressed to the tax office. Be assured that your payments will be posted to the date you dropped it off. Payments dropped over the weekend will be posted to the next business day. There will be absolutely no cash accepted in the drop box. We encourage you to make payments online through the township websites, through your own online banking institution, or you may also mail your payments to us. Many of you request your bills be stamp paid. If you send your entire bill with your payment and enclose a self-addressed stamped envelope, we will stamp as paid and return to you. We appreciate your flexibility during this unprecedented time while Town Hall is closed to the public. The following procedures have been implemented for Town Hall businesses. All business will be conducted via telephone, email, or mail through the United States Postal Service. In addition, we have added a new blue drop box located outside to be used for any Town Hall correspondence, for example, taxes, and please remember no cash, permits, dog licenses, to name a few. This is not a U.S. postal mailbox, please be advised. Pick up of any necessary paperwork such as permit applications, building department paperwork, license applications, etc., will be available through the pickup box located directly outside the front door. The box will be brought in at the end of the business day. Please call appropriate department beforehand to make arrangements for picking up said forms. Free shopping service for seniors. The Bergen County Department of Human Services Division of Senior Services reports Umbrella is waiving their membership fee during this time. They connect seniors who need groceries and supplies with volunteers who can provide it. Please visit our website for further information. In addition, senior citizens or disabled people who are in need of assistance with meals may call 201-358-0050 or visit www.pvmealsonwheels.com for more information. Also, please support your local eateries. Please visit the Township website for a list of local establishments still open and serving our community. During these ever-changing times, we encourage residents to please stay in contact with our community. Please visit our website to sign up for SWIFT 911. Sign up for our Township email notices by texting the word Township, TOWNSHIP, to 22828, entering your email address, or by following us on Facebook and Twitter. The BCUA's April 5th Household Hazardous Waste Collection event scheduled for Bergen Community College has been canceled. The BCUA has also suspended its electronic recycling program and computer sales at its Little Ferry Moonachie facility.
Thank you.
Also, please be advised, social distancing is still the recommended way to keep COVID-19 and your family safe. Okay. At this time, we're going to have a COVID-19 report from Mayor Peter Calamari.
Yes, thank you, Stacy. Some of what I have duplicates what you said, so I ask the residents to just bear with me to hear it twice.
Okay, no problem.
Good evening, everyone. This month's report is all information relevant to the current COVID-19 pandemic, which is affecting our lives in an unprecedented way. As your mayor and fellow resident, I want to say that I am proud of our town and our citizens' response to following the guidelines recommended by public health professionals. The sad news to report that in Washington Township we have had approximately 51 confirmed positive COVID-19 cases and 5 deaths. Please keep them and their families in your thoughts and do your best to pay your respect to them by continuing to follow the social guidelines and keeping yourself, your family, and the public safe. As far as services, here's the most current information. The staff in Town Hall are working in the office 2 days a week and remotely 3 days a week. This has been the routine for a couple of weeks now, and it seems to be working well for everyone. It's keeping our employees safe and the town running effectively. As a reminder, Town Hall building is closed to non-employees. There's a new drop box outside for depositing all tax payments, fees, correspondence, etc. for the township. Do not leave cash in the mailbox. All town buildings are being professionally sanitized every week. Town Hall is also closed to all employees on Fridays to further provide the building with a 3-day cooling off period. Our faithful first response volunteers continue to impress me with their dedication to serve. The fire department is still currently available 24/7 to handle their usual calls, and the ambulance corps is still in service whenever possible. If you should find yourself experiencing mild symptoms associated with COVID-19, please contact your health provider first before calling emergency services. Medical practices have all the necessary arrangements in place to treat you remotely without putting anyone at risk. On a happy note, the Easter Bunny will be driven around town by the fire department this Saturday, April 11th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. While there won't be any candy given away, there will be lots of distance greetings for people waving from their doorways. On to DMF. The DMF staff are working staggered hours and shifts. It's that time of year again, and I'm pleased to report that the garden and grass collection program began today as scheduled. No excuses to not spend some quarantine time outside in your own yard getting some exercise and fresh air. Please note that if you are normally scheduled for a Friday pickup on 5, your pickup day will now be on Thursdays. The household bulk debris program has been postponed until further notice due to the staggered shifts and scheduling considerations. The DMF yard is closed until further notice. as is the library, the senior center and all senior activities, municipal court, spring rec sports, all township parks, and playgrounds. A reminder to everyone about social distancing yourself from others. We all understand how trying a time this is, and we all are missing our normal social contact. Times like this do bring out the creativity in people, and I encourage you to find new ways of interacting with friends and family that don't violate social distancing recommendations. Our police department would much rather come by your house to give your child a birthday shout-out than to have to ask you to disperse. Please take what's best for everyone into account, and we will get through this. Local businesses and merchants. Many of our local merchants that fall within the governor's definition of essential businesses are up and running with revised hours and services. They have taken precautions to keep both you and them safe, and I'm certain they appreciate your patronage whenever possible. There's a page on the town website listing the current status of many of our merchants. Speaking of the town website, it contains a great deal of COVID-19 specific resources and data. In addition to what I've mentioned, there are links to county and state websites where you can obtain accurate, up-to-date information, notices, and number of cases. Finally, be safe and be kind. The human spirit always triumphs, and we will get through this. I wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy.
You're welcome. Thank you for the information.
Sure thing.
Okay, we're now going to open to the general public discussion. To participate in the general public discussion portion of the meeting, please dial in on 201-664-4659. You will be asked to state your name and address for the record, and we ask that only one person speak at a time. Please note that at the end of the general public discussion, no more calls will be accepted. Also, please be aware there is a 5-minute time limit. Motion to open the public discussion.
Second, Cummings.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody on the line at the time?
Hello?
Hello, I am.
Okay, hold on one sec. Let's get some speaker here. Okay. All right, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
And also, I'm going to let the person on the phone speak, and we will take their information and get back to you.
Stacy, hold on one second. You both talked at the same time. I'm sorry. Stacy, go ahead.
I'm going to let the person on the phone speak, and then we'll get back to them at the end of this. It just gets to be too confusing with the phone call.
Okay, ma'am, would you state your name and address for the record again, please?
Sure. My name is Annette Deshura. I live at 62 Edgewood Drive. Basically, everybody's doing such a great job in town, especially the road department, as far as doing pickups and things like that. And I know so many of us are very appreciative of all of that. But this is about, my husband and I walk around the lake, and when we get over to the bridge, you know where I'm talking about, the bridge that goes across the little stream, there sometimes are people fishing off the bridge, and there are also people have stopped with strollers on the bridge, and with social distancing, there's not enough room to move on the bridge. We were wondering if there possibly could put up a sign to remind people not to stop on the bridge, that they could fish on the sides or stop on the sides, but when they stop on the bridge, it's just really too tight. And on days when the weather is nice, it's getting really crowded there. That's it.
Thank you very much for the information. I think we'll pass that along to DMF to see if they can post a sign to say, please don't wait on the bridge, or please don't fish on the bridge, please move along to the side. But that's very good suggestion, and thank you for the information.
Thank you.
Next caller? Next caller? Hello?
Hello,
Hello?
this is Michael Ullman, 2 Park Avenue.
Good evening, Mr. Ullman. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay. A few questions. The first is, can you just revisit what the working hours are at Town Hall? Because perhaps I misunderstood the mayor's update where it was 2 days in the office and 3 days remote. And then the offices are closed on Friday. Is that be available? So I'm just trying to understand when Town Hall is operating. And two, if there are reduced days in the office or days available, are staff working the 35 hours?
Mr. Ullman, just one second. So, Mr. Mayor, if you could repeat the hours in Town Hall, please, and that I am aware, Mr. Ullman, that the staff is working from home also, so you're aware they are working the 35 hours, but if, Mr. Mayor, if you could update, or Mr. Tovo, on the Town Hall hours, please?
Yeah, I'm happy to address that. The hours are Monday, Thursday, 8:30 to 4:30, and on Fridays, 8:30 to 12:30.
Okay. So the announcement last week about the offices being closed on Friday, they're closed, but staff is working on Fridays?
Yes, Town Hall is closed. Everyone on Fridays, but everyone does work remotely on a Friday.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The second question I had is, on the list of bills, on page 3, about a quarter of the way down, I see that Robert Conley for $59K. And I was just wondering, last week I had raised a question about the completion of the construction document phase and what was the deliverable laid out in the fee proposal, and was wondering if this phase has been complete and the documents have been delivered.
Mr. Tovo, since that was a question from last week, do you have a response?
Yeah, I spoke to Mr. Connell this week. We're having trouble getting.
Mr. Tovo?
I'm
you gotta
sorry, I
speak up.
can't understand.
Yeah, you have to speak up, Mr. Tovo, I'm sorry.
I spoke to Mr. Connolly this week. Is that better?
A little bit better.
And they advised me that first part of this building on the drawings and other documents being completed and then forwarded to the Township Attorney for review on the bid spec.
I'm sorry, my apologies, Ms. Wachowski. If you heard that,
I heard most of it. Bob, all right, so I have done, if with the documents, if they were delivered, you spoke to him about getting them delivered and then the billing on the drawings and then forwarded to someone for review.
The Township Attorney to review the bid docs before they go out.
so my question is, the bill or the document phase, the construction document phase was for $158,000 per the fee schedule. Why are we only paying $59,000? Have we paid previous on this?
We have.
Okay,
This has been progress billing.
thank you. And the last question I have, President Feeney, I had, I think back in February maybe, inquired about accounting functions and who was performing them in the absence of a certified CFO. And I have yet to hear from you, and I was wondering, can I anticipate a response to that inquiry?
Yes, you can anticipate a response. I do not have all the answers as of yet, and I am addressing that currently.
I'm sorry, it came across a little garbled. My apologies.
No, that's okay. I'm not sure if I should move the phone closer or not. I shouldn't. So I'm currently working on that still. I don't have all the answers, and as soon as I do, I will email you. Is that better?
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. One thing though, can everybody just remember that if you're going to watch on your TV, to please mute the audio because that will create a bit of a feedback that I heard from WCTV today. So if anybody's calling in, please mute that audio.
Okay, is there anyone else on the phone? Okay, motion to close public portion of the meeting?
So moved, DeSena.
Second, Cummings.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Okay. Ordinances, adoption second reading,
Stacy?
number 20-03, an ordinance changing the name of the Department of Municipal Facilities to Department of Public Works.
Stacy?
Oh,
It isn't quite 7:30, so maybe if you want to go into the resolutions and then come back, circle back.
okay.
Sorry about that. You almost did it.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes. Okay, so. Okay, so I'm going to go into individual resolution, authorize an emergent appropriation prior to adoption of the 2020 current budget. May I have a motion?
Which one is that, please?
Sorry, we're on it's on page 3 at the top. It's number 20-196.
For the temporary budget.
So moved. Cummings.
Okay, I'll second. Do we want to have a discussion?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman DeSena.
Mr. Kova, what these amounts you included in this, what date does that take us to?
Approximately to the end of May.
Excuse me?
Approximately to the end of May.
The end of May, you said.
Do we have an exact date? I'd like the date.
I can't.
This is, Bob, we're sorry, we can't hear you. We can't understand you, I'm sorry.
Did we lose Bob? Hello?
Bob?
We may have lost them. Okay, let's,
Mr. Tovo, are you on the line? Mr. Tovo? You may have lost him.
do you have the schedule there? What's the last meeting in May for the council?
I'll tell you in a second. April, May, should be May 18th.
Okay.
And May goes to May 29th is on a Friday.
Right, I think this goes to the first I think this goes to the last meeting in May.
I'd just like
Yep.
to know the exact date we're gonna, that
Mr. Tovo?
budget.
Can you hear me now?
Another temper.
Yes, Mr. Tovo is back.
I switched phones. To answer Mr. DeSena's question, that temporary budget is designed to take us to the end of May.
So the end of May, the 29th of May, or the last day of May?
The last day of May.
Okay.
May 31, okay. Thank you, Mr. Kova.
This is resolution which number, please, Madam President?
20-196 Cummings.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, did we lose someone else?
I don't think so.
Is everyone still on the line?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah, see that
Sorry,
again.
I'm here.
Phones.
Yep, Mayor's here.
Ken?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
If you're not here, though, how do you say I'm not here?
You're right.
You say it very quietly.
I was just thinking that.
Very good, Ken. They can always know I'm here with a wisecrack.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to make a motion
We have
to,
a motion, and we have a second. We need a roll call if
Yeah.
everybody's done.
well, does anybody else have any other questions? Okay,
Mr. Cova, these are calculated at 2019 rate?
They are calculated 2019 rate, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Sue, roll call.
Okay, Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes.
Stacy, if you want to go back to those ordinances
Yes.
at this point.
Okay. Ordinance number 20-03, an ordinance changing the name of the Department of Municipal Facilities to Department of Public Works in the Code of the Township of Washington. Resolution number 20-198, authorizing second reading and opening a public hearing for ordinance 20-03. May I have a motion?
So moved, DeSena.
Okay, one can first, one can second. Okay.
All right, let me open up the lines in case there's any, roll call. Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes.
All right, let me open up that
And
line.
please call 201-664-4659 if you have a comment on ordinance 20-03 only. This is not the public portion of the meeting.
Hello, is anybody there? If anybody wants to make a public comment at this time for the hearing, please call in.
Okay, I'm going to give it 1 minute and then we'll
Yep.
close. I'm
Good.
not sure how long we should leave it open.
I think that's fair enough.
Okay. Motion to close public hearing for ordinance 20-03. May I have a motion? So moved, Desiree. I'll second it.
Second.
Okay.
Cumming.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 20-03 at second reading by title. May I have a motion?
So moved, DeSena.
Second. Hart.
Sue, roll call?
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Ordinance number 20-04, an ordinance amending fees associated with the summer recreation program. Resolution number 20195, authorizing second reading and opening of the public hearing for ordinance 20-04. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. Sue, roll call?
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. For the public portion, please call into 201-664-4659. Please. If you have a comment on ordinance 20-04 only, please note this is not the public portion of the meeting.
Hello, is there anywhere in there to make a comment on ordinance 20-04? The lines are open. Any comments on 20-04, public hearing? Please call.
Okay, may I have a motion to close public hearing for ordinance 20-04?
So moved, Casio.
Second.
Cumming.
Sue?
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 20-04, its second reading by title. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we adopted the temporary budget. Okay, resolutions and consent agenda. All of the following items have been determined to have unanimous consent of council and will be enacted in one motion. Should any item require independent consideration, any council member may have such item removed from the council agenda. Resolution number 20-185, authorized payment of bills from March 3rd, 2020 through March 13th, 2020. Resolution number 20190, authorized award as bid for ADA compliant parking stalls to FCS Contracting in the total amount of $23,400. Resolution number 20-197, authorized payment of bills March 14th, 2020 and April 2nd, 2020. May I have a motion?
So move, Morgan.
I'll second it, and I would like to pull 20185 and 20197.
So do you want to do a roll call on 20-190? Or you want to do your discussion
We
first?
asked questions to Mr. Pollard about 20-190.
Yes, this is the one where he sent the email regarding saying that we were fine with what we were doing last time, correct?
I don't remember receiving an email. Can we have Mr. Pollard go through it?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, no,
was
I
on the...
sent it to. Well, I sent it to Stacy actually.
Oh,
Stacy,
okay.
you would ask for it, so I sent it to you.
Okay, so I'm going to put it to Sue and Sue could forward. I could actually read the email. That's... Hold on.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, I made an assumption that was wrong. Okay, so the limitation is 40,000. The limitation is not 17.5.
That wasn't the question that was asked.
Okay.
Mr. Pollard, the limitation is I understand the limitation is 40,000 because we have a QPA, but the QPA first off didn't review this and authorize this award. That's number one. But second,
It wasn't asked last time. The main question last time was the limitation on the dollar amount.
Well, Mr. Pollard introduced the 40,000, which is only allowed by a QPA. So
We have a QPA. We do have a QPA.
But having him, he has to approve the resolution. He has to approve it, not Mr. Tova. He's not a QPA.
Well, Mr. Tovo, I think, consulted with the QPA. Isn't that right?
Yeah, but the approval, if we're going to use the $40,000 threshold, it has to come from the QPA.
Well, I don't know what you mean by it has to come from. If Mr. Tovo, if Mr. Tovo's consulting with the QPA, I mean, what do you want? Notes from the QPA?
No, I want the QPA to sign off on 20-190.
Well, let's see how it's worded.
Mr. Tovo, did you consult with the QPA?
I consulted with a number of people on this issue because the question was whether or not the contractor could be awarded a cumulative amount over 17 funds because they've been awarded other projects in the township. And the answer that Mr. Polar and I both received is that that threshold is actually $40,000 when you have the QPA. So it's not 17.5 cumulative. That was my understanding of the question.
And that's what the regulation reads. That's what it reads here for the bid threshold.
But then the certification should. We're using the QPA credentials. He should sign it, not Mr. Tova.
Okay, so who's our qualified purchasing agent?
Mr. Cicero. So we can add a signature for the QPA if you like.
Mr. Tovo, I'm really sorry, but you were mumbled at the end. Could you just repeat that?
we can add a line for the QPA to sign if council would like.
Mr. Pollard, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So you're stating that we could award non-bid contracts to the same contract for multiple contracts up until the $40,000 amount?
Yes, if you want to go
So we could
to
do a la
40
carte.
It's not a la carte. It basically says, the 7,500 bid limitation was raised up to 40,000 as documented in the local finance notice 2015 which states as follows. And then there's the legal section is there.
Yeah, but Stacey, you have that in front of you. We're listening.
Oh, I'll forward it. I'm sorry. I'll forward it to Sue and she can forward it.
That's all, it's fine and dandy that you have it, but we don't have it. And
All right, but I asked Mr. Pollard. I didn't ask to forward it to the,
make sure what Mr. Pollard is stating that we can give. So you're saying in January we can give SCS a contract for $10,000. In May we can give them another $10,000. In June we can give them another $20,000. But in September we can't give them any more because we've reached the $40,000. That's what you're saying, right, Mr. Pollard?
What I am saying is that, first of all, you can't deliberately segment contracts so that you come under the bid limit. That's number one. Okay. So if your purpose is doing that, you can't do that. You can't say let's keep it under here and have lesser amounts. Okay. However, if you have things that come up, the statute 4811-3 says when the cost or price of any contract awarded by the contracting agent in the aggregate does not exceed a contract year for the total of $17,500, and we're $40,000. The contract may be awarded by a purchasing agent or other employee so designated by the governing body when so authorized by ordinance or resolution as appropriate to the contracting unit without public advertising for bid. Okay? And under local finance notice 2015-20, it was raised by the governor to $40,000. We do have a QPA. Ours is $40,000. So the aggregation occurs either if the goods or services are in connection with the same immediate purpose or task, or if the furnishing is of similar goods or services, in each instance, the limitation being during the same contract year.
So, Mr. Pollard, my question is, can we give him random contracts until we get to the $40,000? Is that your legal opinion?
If they're not designed to avoid the bidding limit, if they come up in different times for different things, the aggregation can be $40,000. That's correct.
But it can't be what you're saying, Mike, is what Mr. Pollard's saying. It cannot be staggered so that we don't hit the $40,000 in one shot.
Well, we're awarding them two separate contracts.
No.
We've already.
You can go to the 40,000 is your limit. You raised the issue that it can't be more than, I think, one time or something like that. Whatever you said, I forgot what you said. But it's $40,000. It's $40,000. That's
so you're saying we could spend $40,000 with SCS in 2020?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on 20-190?
No.
No. Councilman Cumming, are you good? Did we lose Art? Did we lose Art?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
What was the question?
Does anybody have any more questions for 20190, the award for the ADA compliant parking stalls?
I vote yes.
Okay. Sue, I'd like to vote on 20190 before we get to the rest of them. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time. Let's just get that out of the way.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
No.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
And Council President Feeney.
Yes. Okay. Is it okay if I go to 185? Is that okay with everybody, or does somebody else want to ask a question first?
No, go for it.
Okay. Mr. Tovo, before we had some issues because there were POs on here and not just checks. Tell me, has this been this issue been rectified?
Generally speaking, these are all purchase orders. There are times where the checks are run prior to the bill is being approved. If there's an issue with any of those checks, they're then pulled and voided accordingly. The majority of the bills where you see a check, they're approved and they're mailed out immediately. There are others where we know they're soon to be completed, and once we have the final invoice for that project, the check is then mailed. So it's really a timing mechanism so that our vendors aren't waiting longer than they have to for payment. But the safeguard is still there that if the council does pull one, the check will be voided.
Okay, but it's my understanding that this should just be payments that are going out, not payments and purchase orders. That's where I'm confused, from like a financial perspective.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question? I didn't catch it.
Yeah, go ahead. The bill list that we're approving should be the checks that are going out for payment, not checks that are being cut to be held until the services are finished, because then they wouldn't need to be approved again, and we don't know if the services are going to be finished. This is an example, not that it's every single line item on here.
Well, there are some that we know are going to be completed prior to, or we suspect will be completed prior to the next bill list going to the council. So the check is then cut, and when we approve that the work is finished, the check would then be mailed.
I've never been in a situation, an accounts payable situation, where we're cutting checks prior to work being finished.
Do you normally have to wait sometimes a month for approval to mail a check?
No, I mean, that's not also typical. I mean, I agree with you there, but I'm just, with the current process in place and lack of a CFO, the present time, not that that's anybody's issue, especially with what's going on, but I just don't want things to be paid prior to the work being completed, especially in the situation we're currently in, which is very unknown territory. You know, cash flow issues and things like that. It leaves a huge margin of error.
Well, I certainly understand and respect your concern, but we're really very diligent in making sure the project has been completed to our satisfaction prior to a check being mailed.
Yes,
but that's not what we found in the last month with the last bill paid list that we went through. That's why this came up again. We had a purchase order in there, so the checks and balances don't always work out this process.
If you're referring to the one for the services regarding the intersection, the reason that one was put through is because that work was to at least have been started. It's not completed by now, but it got delayed for a variety of reasons.
Okay, but if it's, so in that regard specifically, if it's progress billing, should the vendor amend the bill to reflect the work that's been completed so that we don't deplete our cash flow, especially in the current situation, and we don't know, we know that some of our residents are going to be struggling, and, it's all a trickle-down effect in that regard.
Well, in that regard, the check I just referenced was actually voided. It will then now be reissued when the work does, get done or get completed.
No, but to use that as an example for other items that are on the bill list.
Yeah, I gave a specific example of a project that we thought would be at least started, if not done, prior to the next time you saw a bills list.
Yeah.
So again, as I referred to, it's a timing issue and something that we needed to do to keep the project moving. As things turned out, we were unable to begin, so as a result, we avoided that check.
Right.
Stacy, it's Mayor. May I make a suggestion?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. It's resolutions. Resolution 2185, I I believe the work has all been done on that one, because that was more the carryover from the last meeting. And so I think Bob and I can very comfortably say that on that one, all the work has been done. So just to separate the two, the second one, there might be some items where the work hasn't been done, but like Bob said, we expect it to be done before the next council meeting. So you might want to just look at them two separate, because I believe they are two separate things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, of course, yes. Anybody else have any comments or questions on 185?
No, I'm good.
No.
No, thank you.
Okay. I'd like to vote on 20-185, please.
All right, Ken, my question to you is this. 20-190, we had voted on, they had put a motion on the table for all three resolutions, 185, 197, and then 190. 190 we did the vote on. 185, can I take that motion in second still, or should we have a new one?
I have a new one, and I'll tell you, I think that we're going to handle this a little bit different in terms of how we do the consent agenda, because I really don't like the way it goes. It's very confusing. The way it's designed, just so you know, it's really designed where the announcement, and I really wanted to kind of bring this up at some point in time, so this is a good time. So the way it's really set up here is the anticipation is that all those resolutions are going to be voted for without people pulling off and having all questions, stuff like that. So that opening should be read, not a motion on it, just the wording should be read. At that point in time, whoever wants to pull off a resolution from the consent agenda says, I'd like to take off 20-190, whatever it is. Then you take those off. And then you do a motion on what's on the consent agenda, because that's the only thing that everybody consented to. The rest of them you have to do individually, because each one has discussion. So that's what I'd like to see happen, so we don't have this, is it covered by and what's in it and what's not in it, okay?
Okay.
I just think it'll work better, and because once you start discussing an individual resolution, it requires a vote, and you should be voting on it individually. The whole point of a consent agenda was because we used to have every resolution voted on, but there were so many perfunctory resolutions that one motion was going to be used to handle all of them. But if there are things to talk about individually, even if there are questions, you take them off the consent agenda, and everything that's left on the consent agenda, you do a motion for that, and then each resolution that you have passed on and talked about, whatever, you have a motion on it, and discussion, and then a vote.
Okay.
All right?
That.
Okay? I just think it'll be cleaner.
Okay.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, so 20-185, we'll need a motion.
Right.
Okay, 20-185, may I have a motion?
So moved, Morgan.
Okay, they both can.
All right, well, Desiree, you got the motion. Who's taking the second?
I think it was Cassio.
Okay. All righty. Councilman Cassio.
Yes.
Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
No.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Would anybody like to discuss resolution number 20-197?
Mr. Chair, is this the end of environmental renewables?
You're garbled.
Is this, Mr. Tovo, are these all the environmental renewal bills for the leaves, or do we still have more coming?
This should be all of them, Mr. DeSena.
Thank you. Do we track higher or lower than last year?
I believe we're a little bit lower.
Good. Okay, thank you. Was the Mr. bought, Mr. Tolo, the one to sanitize the vehicles? Is that what that is?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Councilman DeSena, could you repeat that question again? You garbled a bit. I'm sorry.
The Mr. and the 10 gallons of aseptic wipes, was that for the decontamination of the vehicles? And Mr. Tolo said yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Just to clarify for council, we're doing two forms of sanitizing. One is primarily for the buildings, done weekly, and they also do the vehicles while they're here, but the Mr. is so that we can do it on an emergent basis without calling the vendor back in.
So, Mr. Tolo, presently, are we missing all the police cars, ambulances, and fire trucks?
Yes, we are.
Is that daily?
I think it's after so many uses and so many calls when I talked to Chief Skinner, Councilman DeSena.
And also, if they have a known case of contact, it's also done immediately after.
But at a minimum, is it being done daily on all the vehicles? That's what I'd like to know.
I would answer no, it's not being done daily. It's being done as needed, and then weekly by a separate vendor. I mean, they certainly can do it daily if they have the need for that.
Well, in this time, don't you think it's, even if I guess is the DMF, DPW doing it, Mr. Tova? Who's doing it? Who's performing the function?
The DMF.
So, I mean, is it worth that?
It's also
Would it be worth?
they're using wipes and cleaner in the car on a regular basis for actual police officers themselves.
Yeah, but I'm saying, shouldn't we have the DMF just do every vehicle on a daily basis, Mr. Mayor, and just be safe and play safe? And on top of, if they do have a known call, just to protect our first responders?
True, but I also think that we should defer to Chief Skinner on this. He's monitoring the use of the vehicles. I think maybe we can get a response from him before we go forward.
I'd like to see
doing it on a regular basis because I know they've gotten some donations of items also.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about donations. I'm talking about missing all the vehicles. That's all.
No, I mean of cleaning services and things like that.
No, but I'm talking about missing the vehicles, Stacey. I'm not talking about cleaning services. I'm talking the DMF, the Mister that we bought, missing every vehicle that is used by township employees to protect them against COVID-19.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is maybe we need to get a response from Chief Skinner to see what's going on a regular basis before we dictate something to them, is what I'm saying.
I'm not dictating. I'm just I'm suggesting that we...
It's not meant to be combative. I'm just saying, I was just saying, should we get a response from Chief Skinner?
That's fine.
Doing definitive.
I'd like to see us do it daily, that's all.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying before we go there...
There's no restriction on the department heads as far as how often they can do it. They can do it whenever they feel they need to.
Okay.
This is Art Cumming. I just want to say that I hope that there's no limitation or implied limitation from anybody to anybody missing anything or disinfecting anything at any time. Because as Councilman DeSena and I were discussing earlier, people look at this issue with all different attitudes. And I hope everyone is taking it quite seriously.
And that's why I'd like, at a minimum, I hope Chief Skinner agrees with me that we missed every vehicle on a daily basis, fire trucks, ambulances, and all the police cars, DMF trucks, on a daily basis at a minimum, on top of when they go out for the calls, like Mr.
Okay, I'm calling this conversation. This is not, we all have the idea. We have the budget to get to. We're getting way off track at this point. Everybody's aware. We're all on the same page. So, okay, let's have a vote for resolution number 20-197.
Motion? Somebody's motioning?
Oh, okay, so moved. Morgan.
Second?
Cumming.
Thank you. Councilman Casio?
No.
Councilman Cumming?
Yes.
Councilman DeSena?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Council President Feeney?
Yes. Adjournment to conference agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, should we go to are you going to the tracker, Ms. President, or what should we
Oh,
do?
sorry, my phone was on mute.
All right, I had to leave the room for a moment, too. I mean, life is too much with us.
Yes. Current business, project tracker 331-2020. Mr. Tovo.
You're on.
Did we lose him?
Mr. Tovo in the wings?
Mr. Tovo, are you with us?
Maybe he's on mute too.
Can you hear me?
There you are. You're back.
I'll do it. Three updates on the project page of the tracker, 2019 road program. We will have a pre-con meeting via telephone on 4/23. Obviously, we need to establish, when the start date of this project is going to be, whether we're using police or flaggers. So there's a number of items that need to be reviewed before we go further. Renovation to the DMS building further down on your page. We're working to finalize plans for a temporary location for the DPW. We are making progress there. The basketball course, the grant has been extended to 6/2020. Please keep in mind that almost all of the projects subject to grants are likely to be extended or no penalty if you go beyond the projected date. And on the project page, after compiling this, the grant writer informed me there is a new Department of Justice grant for police in regards to COVID-19. I've instructed him to begin that grant process. It would cover many of the things that we will go over later on the adjustments of the OEM budget. And obviously, because of the times that we're in, what it is, they are to be fast-tracked. And then the sewer line inspection repairs, that has been done, and that the video is currently in the hands of our engineer.
Okay. And what's the award time period on the grant for the police department?
All they told us it would be fast-tracked. We haven't gotten firm dates yet. It just opened.
It just opened. Okay, great.
Yeah. And within days.
Stacey, I have two questions for Mr. Tovo.
Sure.
Mr. Tovo, a couple of meetings ago, we had asked for a status on the radio system upgrade project when the report, and said we'd have the report. Do we still have a new date for that yet, or?
We are still waiting for the report back from Motorola on both the equipment and the county system. As you can imagine, things have slowed down substantially. So
Okay.
as soon as we get that report, we'll get it to you.
And then the other thing you had said you'd get us that we still haven't received is the quotes for the communication system for the hardwiring of town facilities. You said you had received some quotes and you would forward it to the council at a couple meetings ago.
I'm sorry, quotes for which system?
The hardwiring of the communications throughout towns, all the parks and all the buildings, the data lines.
The fiber line. That was sent
Fiber
out to the council.
I
I can
don't
resend
recall.
it, but that was sent.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tovo, what did you say? I'm having a hard time here tonight. I'm sorry.
The price quotes for the fiber loop around town, I believe that was already sent to council, but I can certainly resend it.
If you could, please. I don't recall receiving it. Sorry.
Mr. Tovo, when did you send that? You sent that about 3 weeks ago? I did see it, but it's funny, I can't find it now.
Oh, I would say it was at least 3 weeks ago.
I can go through my emails too, Stacy, and see if I can find it.
Okay, hold on, wait, I think I may have found it. Hold on, just wait 1 second. I could forward it to you, you could forward it to...
Yeah, could I see a copy? I'd be most interested in that.
Sure, I know I did see it.
I didn't, and I'm sorry.
I don't remember seeing it, sorry. If it was sent, I must have misplaced it.
No, it's okay, I have to find it, okay.
I show it being sent on February 18th.
February 18th?
Yes, I'm sending back to you now, Sue.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Perhaps we could get another copy if it's not too much trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, just sent it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was Councilman DeSena. It's entitled the Millennium Fiber Quote, just so you know.
Okay, I'll take a look for it. I just did a quick search and I didn't find anything on the 18th.
Yeah, so it's under Millennium Fiber.
Okay.
And it's from Sue, not Mr. Tovo.
Yeah, I did both, and I couldn't find
Okay.
it for some reason. Okay.
Mr. Tovo, I had a question on is the light repairs and the drainage project, is that going to be delayed because of the current situation? For the May 20, are they pushing these out?
What pushed that back we need warmer weather in order to do the seal coating in the rear of the PD. So now the warm weather is upon us, we can restart that program.
Okay, thank you. And my other question was oh no, you already answered that, sorry. Send it to 6/30/20, okay.
Mr. Tova, do we have a date when the firehouse bid is going out?
We do actually have one. I have to recheck my emails for the date that Connolly gave us. So I will dig that up and send it out.
Thank you.
I think I saw an email from Connolly that he was waiting for some details from the town or surveys or something, and I wonder if that's been provided.
Well, I could say that he sent me the report with the specifications just at the end of last week. So I'm going over that from my point of view, but that has nothing to do with drawings or things of that nature.
Thank you, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any more questions on the project tracker for Mr. Tovo?
Not for me. I'm good.
Not for me either.
Tracking software, I guess we have to hold up on the classes, I would imagine.
Yeah, once again, it's an area we are slightly behind on because of the COVID-19.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, I think we can go on to the next item, which is budget meeting dates. I know this upcoming weekend is Easter.
And Passover.
Yes, and Passover starts on Wednesday, yes. We need to get a couple of meeting dates on the calendar, whether we do it remotely or we do it 10 feet apart from each other. Any recommendation on dates? I know, Desiree, you're very tied up schedule-wise, so if you have an open date that you'd like to suggest first, I'd like to do that.
Actually, the only time I can't do it now is my other scheduled dates are postponed because of COVID. The only thing I have going on is I never really know when I'm going to be out of work, so I'm always available after 7.
Can we do next Monday after 7, everyone?
That works for me.
That works for me also. The Monday the 13th.
Yeah, Monday the 13th at 7. We'll do 7 to 9, 9:30 if it works for everyone.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I checked my
Wait, you
dance
can
card, and I
advertise?
believe I'm available. The 13th.
Yeah, if we could do 7 to 9:30 and get 3 hours in, I think that would be helpful if that works. I know everybody's remote, so just
Wait, what time?
6:30.
I don't know that I'll be home by then. It's a little, I can't tell when I'll be home from work.
Okay, so we'll leave it at 7.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Ricky said the date's okay for TV, and I'll work out the logistics with Sue, and I'll send it out to everybody.
I'm sorry, what are we working out, Stacy?
The 13th, I'm going to work out the logistics of how we're going to do this. Talk about it afterwards, okay, Sue?
Well,
Okay.
yes or no?
Well, we're just
It's a
going to do
virtual
that.
meeting, right?
I'm fine, I can advertise the meeting, I'll get it in the newspaper, we can get it out.
Okay, that's good. And then let's set another date. Is there any other day that week that we could do, maybe Thursday?
Any day.
I'm open.
Okay, so
All right,
let's also do 4/16.
15 or 16?
16, Thursday.
Okay.
7.
Same time is okay?
7 p.m.?
That works.
Okay. And let's see how those two go, and then we have 2 dates, so let's leave it, and then we'll pick 2 more dates if need be.
I hope we get it done.
Well, don't forget, you also have a meeting on the 20th. So you could do a conference agenda again on that Monday if you want to do strictly budget again.
Okay, okay. So let's do the 13th to 16th, and then we'll put it again for the 20th. Great idea. So let me just check with Ricky for the 16th. Hold on one second. Okay, the 16th is good for him also. Perfect. Okay.
The 16th, right?
Yeah, so Monday, April 13th, and Thursday, April 16th, 7 p.m.
Okay, and then the 20th, the conference agenda will become a budget discussion, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okey dokies.
And that start time is going to be 7 as well, right?
Yes.
Or are we, yeah, okay.
Okay, I will get that advertisement in tomorrow.
Yay, we've got 2 dates set. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to move into budget discussion.
Okey dokies.
Okay, hold on, let me just text Ricky. Okay, break. Page 37, I believe.
That is correct.
Okay, and everybody got in their packet the additional OEM money requested by Chief Skinner. I did speak to everybody except Steve. I did leave you a message, but I didn't hear back.
Okay, I didn't get the message, but anyway, what's the deal with the money's requested?
So it's additional OEM money requested by Chief Skinner and Rio. They worked with Mr. Tovo. This is money they're going to need now in order to get through COVID-19.
Okay, specifically for what?
Well, if you look in your list is there, and 75% of this money is going to be reimbursed by FEMA.
Okay, is it for police overtime?
If you look in your packet was the last page. It's sanitizing services, equipment products for $20,000, personal protective equipment $8,000, remote access and virtual meeting $3,000, potential police overtime $30,000.
Okay.
Did you get the page? It should be the last page of the packet.
Yeah. I saw it before. I saw the packet. I guess my question.
Councilman Cassio, you need to talk up. I'm sorry. We can't hear you.
No problem. I guess my specific question was with the overtime. If they don't use it, where does it go? Into surplus for next year?
Mr. Tovo.
That is correct.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Tovo, was this accounted for in are we going to take for temporarily in the temporary budget, are we going to take these out of other line items and then reallocate it to fund it?
In
Because I didn't see these numbers in your...
In the temporary budget, there's 40 of the 60 is included in the temporary budget.
Okay. And the other 20 we'll find for now if we have to?
I don't foresee needing the other 20 until after the budget is approved.
Okay.
I have one question because it's my first year for the budget then. Since this is additional items and 40,000 of it is already part of the temporary budget, do we just need to approve 21 here, or do we need to we should just approve the whole thing to say these are the items we're planning for?
By approving the temporary budget, the $40,000 is approved, and when we approve the current budget, the additional 21 will be reflected there.
Okay, and until the budget is approved and Chief Skinner needs the money now, how is that going to impact him?
Well, he will have the money now because the $40,000 will be allocated as of the vote for the second temporary budget.
So he won't need the whole. Okay, all right, just making sure that it's there and available.
We don't foresee needing all of it in the next 2 months.
Hope not, anyway.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody else have any more questions on the 4 line items from your packet?
No.
No.
Okay, there was also the additional page, I just want to make sure everybody has it, that has the breakdown of the insurance.
Yes. I have a couple questions on that from Mr. Tovo.
Go ahead.
Mr. Tovo, on the employee contribution, how come it went down? And since most salaries have gone up in the township, and it's a percentage of salary, correct?
The employee contribution is a percentage of salary, yeah.
Yes, and since most salaries have gone up, how come it dropped?
It would have to because we're minus 1 full-time employee.
I'm sorry, I lost you there.
I'm assuming the calculation is based on the number of employees we have currently on our health insurance. So, with the loss of personnel...
No, but I'm saying the employee contribution went down.
Again, these calculations come directly from finance, and I can only assume this because employees may have switched to a spouse's plan, so they were carrying less than we were.
All right, can we just confirm that?
We can.
One question: what happens when we hire a new CFO? How are we going to account for that shortcoming in that area? How does that work?
Well, we can fund a little bit more in the line item, but right now this is where our bills are tracking. We bill monthly on this.
Okay.
Okay, so on to OEM budget.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
What page, Stacy?
37.
Thank you.
It's the bottom. Okay, so the first item is OEM Director, OEM Deputy 1, which recommending 2,700.
Keep in mind, in the past, we've only had the OEM director. We haven't had any deputies, and the intention this year is to have at least one.
So the plan for the year is to have OEM Director plus OEM Deputy 1.
Yes.
And it's 1,200, it's 1,500 for the director and 1,200 for the deputy?
It's either 1,200 for one deputy, or it's going to be 6 and 6 if they choose to appoint 2.
But the title is 1,200 for the calendar year.
Correct.
But Stacy, the request was 2,400.
I know, I'm looking at the recommended. I wanted to ask why they're recommending 15. That was where I was going.
Are we paying directors $1,250? Or did that go up?
That director, it's really not a director. It shouldn't be called that. He's more like an OEM coordinator.
Change it in the next budget, please. So we don't have to, I know it's semantics, but just let's make it clear that it's not a director. Make a coordinator.
Okay, so they're requesting 1,200, recommended is 15. Is that because it's coordinator?
His official title is OEM coordinator. Under FEMA, there is no such category as OEM director.
Right, I know, but I was more interested in, requested was 1,200, correct?
It was, but because of the additional duties that an OEM coordinator must do, the mayor and I felt that number should be a little bit higher.
Okay.
If everything goes as it normally does with issues like COVID-19, I can tell you that our coordinator will be spending the next year, once it is over, getting reimbursement.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chobo, could you just say the last part again? You were mumbled.
Our OEM coordinator, if COVID plays out like most declared emergencies, he will spend the next minimum 12 months with paperwork and reimbursement.
Okay.
Right.
I'm good with the 15, especially with the current situation. Anybody else?
I am as well. I'm good with it.
I'm fine.
This is an extra on regular salary for one of the police, yes?
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, so does Art have to?
Hello?
You have to recuse yourself? Does he have to recuse himself?
This has nothing to do with my relation. I can. I don't care.
Yeah,
Fine. I think he should be fine on this.
it's not even police. It's OEM.
Right. It's OEM. So I'd like to make a motion for a vote on both OEM coordinator for 1,500 and OEM deputy, whether it's one or two people for the 1,200 for the year.
So we're adding 300 to the request.
Yes.
So it's plus 300.
Well, it's the recommended line, not the requested line.
Yes.
Hello?
Hi, I'd like to motion for a vote on OEM director for 1,500, OEM coordinator, sorry, for 1,500 and OEM deputy 1 for 1,200 for the year, whether it's one person or two people, for a total of 2,700.
So moved. Morgan.
Second.
Councilman Casio?
Yes.
Councilman Cumming?
Yes.
Councilman DeSena?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Council President Feeney?
Yes. Okay, next page, page 38. Okay. That makes that department total 2,700. The next section is first aid.
You gotta go back, Stacy, you missed one. OEM, the other miscellaneous expenses, it was at the very bottom, the title, but then the amounts at the top.
But the next
Oh,
page
it's
is
not there,
zero.
I'm sorry. It's not there, sorry.
No, that's okay. So the total for that section is 2,700. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, the next section. And then I think we should go through fire.
We're going to go to first aid right after this?
Why don't you skip it?
Well, did we want to talk to them? Because there was some, okay, let's try, we'll go through, okay, so we'll go through, first aid. Contribution, 40,000, same as last year.
Now, Mr. Mayor, is this for the ambulance that we usually buy them?
That's,
What's that?
I'm sorry, Mike, did you ask me a question? If so, could you repeat it?
I said, isn't the 40K to buy this new ambulance, which we just purchased?
No, that's a separate line item that we fund, I think it's
Okay.
$10,000 a year. This is just a contribution we make to them every year for operating.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. No objection to it.
okay, and then, so everybody's good with the 40, and then the GIF premiums, 5,000, it's down from 5,200 last year. Is it going to be down, or do we need to increase it to 200, Mr. Tovo, Mr. Mayor?
The estimated bill we received reflected a number just south of 5,000.
Great.
Why, okay,
Good.
the estimate last year was 5,200, or,
It's a bill.
Yeah, that was the bill for last year.
okay, so we know this year's going to be 5. I'm looking at the numbers, I don't want to have an increase there, that's why. Okay, I'm good with the 5.
Good, 5.
Go.
Yes.
5.
Okay, next section is fire prevention outside consulting. Fire official, so it's 8,500. Okay, I'm good here.
Good.
I'm good too.
Okay.
All right, that takes care of that section. Okay, fire department director, 1,250. I'm good.
Good.
What about the miscellaneous expenses above it on page 39 and so on?
You did the same thing I did.
There are zero
Zero.
requests.
0.
0 requested, 0 recommended.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so now we are at page 40. Everybody was good with the fire department director, 1,250?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty.
Office supplies, 400.
Good.
Good, okay. Subscriptions and books, 100.
Okay.
Okay, dues, meetings, conferences, $1,000.
Good.
Office equipment, $150. They spent $812.50 last year, so that's office equipment maintenance. Is that
That's fine.
right? They spent $812 last year, though. Are there any big expenses or no plan for this year? Anybody know?
I met with them as a department, and they didn't anticipate any.
Okay, good. Office furniture and equipment, $1,500. I'm good. Radio expense, this is a one-time increase. They're requesting $10,000, and I please note it says one-time increase. Mr. Mayor and Mr. Chovo, could you just explain?
Actually, that's a combined. I'm just looking at my notes when I met with them. There are 3 different radio lines on, from what I'm seeing here, maybe pages 40, 44, and 45. And so they were zeroing those out to combine everything into this one.
Oh, I see. It was purchase of pagers you're talking about?
They didn't, let me see, page 40.
It's page 42, page 44.
Oh, it might have been page 40 in theirs. Hold on, please.
I see. Pagers. What else?
Apologize, I can't put my hand on those other line items right now, but my notes clearly say that they're combining some others. If you need to know them, I will certainly get them for you.
Okay.
Can we hold that one, Stacy, until we get more information?
Yeah, no, that's what I was just going to say. I think
Sure.
until we get clarity on what line items that we can say definitively what it is, or even if it's just an explanation of what the situation is.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to pull the 10. Hold on, just making a note. Give me 1 second. Okay. Dispatch services, 2,200.
Good.
Okay. Training, they're requesting 1,000. I know they didn't spend it last year, but I think it's important we leave the $1,000 training on.
Yeah. Leave it.
Okay. Uniform and safety equipment, 12,000. So there's an increase from last year's 8,500. Do you have any notes on that, Mr. Mayor?
Looking right now. Yes, that is, if my note is correct, it's to add what they call bailout gear to existing uniforms.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. I'm good with the 12 then. Anybody have any issues?
No, I'm good with it.
Okay. Okay, oxygen and fire extinguishers, 1,500, I'm good.
Good.
Me too.
Okay, building maintenance, 6,000, I'm good also. Ezra, you said you're good?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, equipment purchases, 5,000, I'm good.
Good.
Miscellaneous, 1,500, I'm good with that. Inspection and chief dinner, not 10,000, I'm good with that. Okay, hardware and parts, 1,500, I'm good. So the only thing we're pulling out of here is the 10,000 for the radios.
Yes, I'll get the explanation on that.
Perfect. Okay, so the rest is approved. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Okay, fire department clothing allowance is 45,000. I'm just looking at the 2 pages, that's all. So this is the total. Okay. I'm good. Okay. The next section, fire preventative maintenance trucks, 10,000.
Good.
Okay. Everybody else good?
Yep, I'm good.
Yes.
2,500. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Turnout gear, 25,000.
Good.
25.
25,000.
Okay, so the department total here is 37.5.
And Stacy, just as a quick note, the one that you skipped, I think that's part of what they're combining in that one. But like I said, I'll get definite.
The purchase of pagers.
Yes.
Stacy, 1 second. Going back to the turnout gear, we got an increase of about $6,000.
You have more people.
No,
Or replacement of old turnout gear for new turnout gear?
actually, it's to add the turnout gear to existing equipment where there is none. So it's adding that gear to existing, I shouldn't say uniforms, but firefighting equipment, whatever they wear when they attend the fire.
Okay.
And that's different than a bailout.
Okay.
Bailout.
Right.
Okay.
The bailout stuff was for like rappelling off a building.
Correct.
And the turnout gear is the heavy boots and coat they wear that protect them from fire.
Correct again.
So I'm good with the 25,000. Does anybody have any issues with it for the increase?
I'm okay with Stacy but I would just like, I think as a council and maybe, with the mayor's input, I really think that we need to review some of these outside activities. I know they're good for morale and our employees and everything, but we may, in 2020, based on everything that's going on, like these dinners and, employee dinners. We may have to
strongly
look at.
disagree. I think that it's something that they've earned, and to support them and to
I'm not saying, I just don't think
also
it's
to
important.
recognize who has gone above and beyond, and the chiefs, I think for morale purposes, like you said, it's a must, and I think it's the least the town can do for them.
I understand that, but I just think in this budget climate, we may have to look at that later on and reallocate money. That's all.
No, and I strongly disagree.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to not approve it, don't approve it now then. Don't say later.
Yeah, I agree with the mayor wholeheartedly. Well, as of right now, the line's approved.
Okay.
Okay, so we're good there. So we're at 37.5. Okay, for that part. Okay. Fire got pack compliance, 2,000.
Good.
There.
Good.
Ladder testing, 2,000. Good there.
Good.
All right, so we've got 4,000. There's okay. Sorry, guys. I just need 1 minute. Okay, if that's okay.
Sure.
Sorry, we're saying goodnight. Okay. Okay, fire hydrant service, 150,000, same as last year. I'm good with that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's that total. Okay, fire department physicals, $1,500.
Good.
Okay, so that's that department total. Length of service and award program, 95,000. There was nothing
Good.
spent last year, just FYI, but I'm good with it. Okay. Okay.
Stacy, it's not that it wasn't spent, it just hadn't been booked by the time that these budgets were printed.
Oh, it hadn't been booked. Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making some notes. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Then prosecutor's office, prosecutor's salary, 7,000. Am I on the right page? 43, 40?
Yeah, you are. Mm-hmm.
44, yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so we're at the, okay. Which I think we already approved the prosecutor's salary, so everybody's good here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Extra session, $750. I know nothing was spent, but we need to leave this on the books.
You do.
Can we move it back to 500?
Is there a reason why it's $750 this year versus $500 last year, Mr. Tovar, Mr. Mayor?
I'll defer.
They were anticipating more special sessions this year. I would expect with the backlog we're going to have that we may want to increase that.
Oh, because of what's going on.
Right, with the courts being closed.
Okay.
So what are you thinking, 1,000?
I would think 1,000 should cover it.
I'm okay with changing the line to 1,000 with the current situation. What about the other council members?
Okay, Art.
Okay.
Councilman Casio?
No.
Okay. Councilwoman Morgan?
Okay, yep.
Okay, Sue, we're going to need a vote on this line, please. It's the,
Okay, so we'll have a motion to increase it, actually, the mayor, you're recommending an $1,000, correct? An increase of 250?
That's correct, Sue.
Okey doke. So, on the mayor's recommendation, Councilman Casio,
No.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yeah.
Council President Feeney.
yes.
Okey dokes, thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask a question? Alternate prosecutor, does this salary is this salary additional in case a prosecutor's not available? Or it's for, how is this in relationship to the current prosecutor's salary?
If our prosecutor is not available and we need to utilize another one, it's $250 per session.
Oh, okay, so this is for 2 sessions if he's not. Okay, I'm good with the 500. I know we haven't spent it, but I think we need to have it.
Good.
Yeah, in case he has to recuse himself for some such of a thing.
You're absolutely right. Everybody else with that?
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay, so we're changing this section then to 8281 plus 250, which will be $85.31. Okay. Okay, and then we're moving on to DMF, which is technically going to be hopefully soon DPW.
20 days from today, or 20 days from publication, it will be.
Okay. Permanent employees not, I think this line is the salaries. Permanent employees not superintendent, $530,000. I think we still have some questions here, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to skip that one. I think the overtime, I think we can approve. Everybody agree? The 50.
Yes.
Excuse me, Stacy. Bob, are you aware of the questions?
I'm not.
Okay, Stacy, can you summarize for Bob and I in an email?
Sure, absolutely, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm good with the 50,000 for the overtime, and the rest of the council.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, there was still an open question around the stipend for the admin assistant for assuming the position, so we're going to skip that line item. Contractual stipends not foreman is $15,000. All employees have CDLs. So these are for drivers.
These are stipends for the foreman, and as we discussed, we currently only have one. Going forward, we may want to make 2.
But Bob, this says contractual stipends not foreman.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. These are right. These are for the CDLs.
Okay. So, okay. This is if they have a CDL, they're entitled to an additional stipend.
Correct.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Okay. Seasonal workers, 75,000.
Sick leave payout?
Sorry, Sue, you were muddled.
All right, what did I miss? Because I see the next one is sick leave payout.
No.
No, that's on the bottom.
That's at the bottom.
You're missing,
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped down. I'm sorry, I jumped
Seasonal
down, wrong
workers.
10,000. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
that's okay.
I went to the bottom of the page already, sorry.
Okay, seasonal workers, 75,000. I'm good with that, especially with what's going on.
Good.
Okay, winter watch. I'm sorry, could someone just tell me what winter watch is? I'm sure I know it, but I'm sure.
Yes, be happy to. During the winter months, each DPW employee is required to be on call out for 1 week at a time.
Okay.
So they receive extra money for that time.
Okay, that's fine. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. I'm good with the 9,500.
God bless.
Okay, and I know that we're still in conversations about the superintendent. Has there been a determination in this area regarding this position yet, or not yet, because of what's going on?
There is not.
Okay, so unfortunately, I think we have to leave it open until we know what where we're going.
We agree.
Okay, thank you. Okay, foreman stipend is 10,000. May add second foreman, so it'll be 5,000 each, or you're not sure about the split?
Yeah, they're roughly $5,000 each, but like I said, we're still on the side.
What? Can we discuss that? We've only had one foreman forever, and it's been the same person, correct? So now we're going to make two foremen? Is that what the intent is here, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Silva?
Currently, the foreman is the acting superintendent.
Correct.
And the way we're working now, we're working more in two separate groups, so it might be advantageous to have two foremen answering directly to the superintendent.
You're going to divide the foreman up by role, by what they're by the groups and what they're doing?
Well, first off, they'd be divided by teams, so they're working in two separate teams. Some roles would vary within the teams, but for the most part, the team should be able to do anything the other team could do.
Yes, that's true. Okay. This 10,000 is also dependent upon what you're doing with the superintendent role also, so they're kind of dependent on each other and which direction you're going to go to.
That's correct.
I would leave it blank.
Yeah, let's leave it. I don't want to leave it blank. I think we should just leave it open until you come up with the superintendent. That's my recommendation.
Well, we can't leave it blank. We still have to pay the current foreman.
Well, I mean, let it blank. Leave it until we get further information at this point.
So we'll leave it open.
Mm-hmm.
Open, blank, flag it, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, sick leave, 2,000. I'm good with that.
Good.
Okay, we're on page 46 now. Okay, which is vacation buyback of 2,000. I'm good with that. EMF director is the 1,250. I'm good with that also. And then other expense, C2 licensed operator. I'm sorry, I don't know what a C2 is.
Runs out sanitary.
Oh, I'm sorry, could just one person tell me what a C2? I know you all told me, but I didn't hear anybody.
It's a wastewater operator.
Okay, thank you.
It's a third party that we hire at this rate every year.
Okay. I'm good with the 3,000.
Good.
Yeah, me too.
Does it need, so last year it was 30, I did have one question. Last year it was 3880. Do we need to increase it to cover, or that was just a rare occurrence based on prior expense?
What happened was the previous year was paid this year because it was not paid the year before, so that's why it looks like it's more.
Fine, paid late.
He's asking for $3,000 for the year.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, on to office supplies, 750. I'm good.
Good.
The next line item is going to be dues and conferences. It's 1,500. I'm good with that also. Okay, the next line item is travel and mileage. It's 500.
Good.
Okay, everybody else good?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Radio expense is 4,000.
Good.
Training, 7,500. I'm good with that.
Good.
Sign expense, 10,000. Was there? That was good. Uniform rental, 7,000. I'm good with that.
Good.
Uniform and safety, 4,000. Fine.
Good.
Oxygen and fire extinguishers, 2,000.
Why so much, Bob?
Well, last year they spent 15,2802.
Yeah, they're spending more money in that area because we're keeping our extinguishers up to date.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, no, as soon as you said that, I remember the 1999 sticker at the Clark Field field house, and the guy said, "Wow, that's an oldie."
Okay, facility maintenance and repairs is 30,000. They're combining that with 2 lines now, so it was 31-500. 126, which is, hold on, I'm just getting to that one so we don't have any confusion. 1,500 is
Bottom of page 51.
facility maintenance, and they spent 10,000 last year plus the 20,000 for this line, so that comes out to the 30,000. So I'm good with that. Okay.
Well, we're recommending 40.
So you are recommending 40.
Yeah.
Okay. So because it was actually you spent 34,000 last year. So last year you spent 23, 225 plus a little bit more than 10. Okay, so I'm good with the 40 with the spend on the 2 lines. Anybody want to
We
discuss?
make it 35.
Do you have a plan for the 40, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Tovo?
We've been doing a much better job keeping up with the maintenance, but we know that every year we fall a little bit short come year's end. So I think that 35 would be nice. But I think we keep our facilities looking and functioning the way we would like.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with the 42.
So this is plus 10K.
It's actually a plus from the spend. It's actually plus like around 6,500.
That's the top of page 48, or am I off?
You're
Yeah,
at
at the top of 48.
Mr. Cummings, so this is 2 lines combined into one now. If you look at 126-500, right, so it's 26-310-500 plus this line. The spend last year is like a 400-ish.
I see, said the blind man.
So, and they're recommending 40 in order to keep our facilities upkeep looking good.
One would only hope.
So I think we need a vote on this line on the 40 based on Mr. Tovo and the mayor's recommendation. I'd like to call for a vote for the 40,000 on the facility maintenance and repairs line.
Okay, so the mayor's recommending $10,000 more at 40,000. So may I have Councilman Casio?
No.
Councilman Cumming?
Yes.
Councilman DeSena?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
And Council President Feeney?
Yes. Okay, DMS janitorial supplies, 5,000. I'm good with the 5 based on last year's spend.
Yep.
Facility, anybody have any issues?
No.
Okay. No. DMS equipment purchases, 15,000. Good. Miscellaneous is 8,000 was spent last year. Was there bills not paid last year again, Mr. Tovo, Mr. Mayor, and it's only 3,000 this year, or something else going on?
Yeah, we had a lot of miscellaneous expenses from quite frankly years of deferred maintenance on items. We're largely caught up there, so we think 40,000 should work for us.
Yeah, and Stacy, I believe also that a lot of that was spent on facilities and maintenance repair, and so part of that got moved into the line item also because it really wasn't miscellaneous, it was facility maintenance.
Okay, I'm good with the 3,000 then.
Me too.
Sure, you betcha.
Okay, James repairs, 15,000.
Yeah, I know there's a big jump, well, not a big jump from last year, but it's a number that we have to continually fund at, a $10,000 plus number because we just don't know where and when we're going to get them. And when we do get them, they're not cheap.
Now, water is unforgiving.
It is.
I'm good with the 15. Does anybody have any issues?
No, I'm okay with it.
No.
Okay.
Other equipment rental, 6,000. I'm good with this line.
Can I ask that we double or increase that number to 10? In the capital budget, we were requesting a wheel loader. We were going to pull that, so we're going to continue to rent equipment for leaf season.
Okay, so you'll need another 4,000 in order to accomplish that?
Yeah, typically we're running about 35 to 4,000 a month, and we're looking to need it more, towards the 2 months and over mark.
Okay, so I'd like to call for a vote on the increase for 26-290-590 from the requested of 6,000 to 10,000.
Councilman Casio?
Yes.
Councilman Cumming?
Yes.
Councilman DeSena?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Morgan? Councilwoman
Sorry,
Morgan?
I'm sorry, I was on mute, yes.
Council President Feeney?
Yes.
Thank you.
I was going to say, did we lose Desiree? Okay. All right, tree removal, town property, 35,000. I'm good. Okay, DMF hardware and paint, 3,000. I'm good there also. Road repairs, 3,000.
Good.
Sewer expenses, 10,000. So there's a big increase from spend to budgeted last year to this year. Mr. Tovo, could you explain, please?
Stacy?
We're being more proactive on these items, and rather than waiting for the repairs to be done when we do a road program or a bigger project, we're trying to do the smaller repairs as we go.
Okay. So I'm good with the 10,000 then, since you're being more proactive. Does anybody have any issues with this line? Okay.
No. Are we going to refund all the fees to the woman that brought up the issues across from Fresh Grocer? Mr. Tovo, has that been looked at?
What's the engineer's report?
We're evaluating the bills and which ones will be reimbursed, and we're also looking for a long-term solution there.
Okay. So we'll install the backflow preventer with this line item.
Well, it's really in the hands of the engineer. I want to make sure that he's okay with that, because there are other factors he has to consider before making that determination.
I had specifically asked for the engineer's report before we made that determination, because I was told that was going to be done after we got that rather extensive communication from that person.
Yeah, that's why I want to make sure her fees are being paid, that she spent all that money, especially in this time.
I want to make sure that it's justified by the engineer, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Tovo, has the engineer submitted his reports yet?
The report is not complete, but it should be complete very soon.
So when you report, would you forward it to all the members of the council?
Yes, there are the properties that the engineer must work with to put a final fix on this. So once he's able to do that, we can generate a final report.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mrs. Council President, what I'm missing something here, because we went down to sewer expenses. Right above it is salt and brine. We had some concerns a couple of years ago from one of the council members who is right here with us, and he wanted the brine truck fixed. And why don't we have a number in there? I don't understand.
Was that combined into another line?
It comes out of the trust. There's a snow removal trust.
I have a lot of trust in you, but I didn't know what you meant. Okay. So that's covered elsewhere.
Correct.
Yep.
Thank you.
That trust that we can't ever use, that everybody wanted to use.
Okay.
We allocated it to that.
Okay, so then we're at this total for this group. We're going to be at 176,250 with the $4,000 increase in the other equipment rental. Okay, street sweeping, 18,000. I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good.
Okay.
I know there are people that would like to see it swept every month, but I think this is we're getting a reasonably good service.
It was in front of my house today. It was very nice.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Okay, we're on to the recycling, if I didn't miss a line. I didn't miss a line.
You got holiday decorations, you forgot.
Well, there's nothing in there.
Okay, well. Can we stop after recycling, Stacy?
Yeah, that's my plan, because recycling's not that long.
Correct, thank you.
So, because I think I said 9:30 in the start. Okay, so we're going to recycling coordinator, is $1,000. Okay, and then curbside contractor fees is requesting. So this is we did have an open question here about the plan if we were going to go forward with the additional changing the garbage service. So because of COVID-19, are we still that on hold right now, or what's the current plan, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chobo?
The intention now would be to put this out to bids prior to the final quarter of the year. So we're going to reduce this line item by $200,000.
We're requesting $380,000.
No, I'm requesting
you're requesting 400.
580.
Oh, I thought you said reduce it by 200.
I did. Yeah, I'm sorry. So you're correct. So it would be 380,000.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, wait a minute. So, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? 146 is what the line is?
No, okay, so right now the requested is 146 and the administration is recommending 380,000 because they're looking into moving refuse removal run by the town instead of having everybody contract out themselves.
Okay, so not 580.
No, because of COVID-19 now, they're going to be looking at the last quarter of the year instead of starting at mid-year.
Okie dokes. I just want to make sure that I wasn't seeing 380, 580 and missing something there.
No, that's why I had asked. I figured with what's going on with the pandemic is that we obviously wouldn't be looking to do this for mid-year. It would probably be for the latter half. So so the plan for you, Mr. Chobo, is to put this out to bid now, or are you waiting? Is there a time frame?
That would not be a good time to bid. Very likely we would meet the requirements of very special requirements for putting trash or recycling out to bid. We don't believe we get enough bidders right now.
Okay.
So as we get clear of COVID-19, we'll put it out to bid with the anticipation we will begin in the fourth quarter of 2020.
Mr. Tovo, could you provide us how you're coming up with these figures and what these figures, once we include a one-year amount, what happens, to the total budget with the line items that are percentages of the total budget and how much those will increase by and what this will totally cost us?
In looking at towns with a similar amount of pickups and a similar amount of roadway miles, we're looking at a contract yearly for garbage and recycling in the range of $800,000 annually.
Okay, so if we just say it's $800K for garbage, right, and then there's a bunch of statutory line items like the library and so forth that are percentages of our budget, right? So if we add, let's just say, 800, that line item goes up, and there's a bunch of line items like school and all those back that are percentages. So those will impact the budget also. So this won't just cost us 800. It has implications that reach outside its own venue. And I'd like to see that report to see what the total cost would be.
Okay. I'm not sure I quite follow what you mean by that, but
We could talk offline. I know Stacy wants to get through this, but if we could table this line item until maybe you and I can get together and talk, and Stacy could join us, and we could just go through it.
Yeah, give me a call. That'd be great.
Is that all right, Stacy?
That's fine. I'd like to get some clarity on what you're talking about also, so yes. I think also have to see, honestly, in my opinion, from looking at the financial side of what's going on currently, I think we also have to look at, is this the right time to do this with what's going on? Are we really going to be out of this by the next 2 months? We're going to have enough time to implement this.
Just keep in mind, though, that if we don't go forward with getting this number, we will at least have to go out to bid on the recycling.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
No, absolutely. I just, trying to look at this as realistically and as logically as possible in the current climate.
No disagreement here. I completely understand.
Good, okay. But I'm glad that you're now, I'm glad that you've taken a look and seen for the last quarter, because I think that definitely, that fits in too, possibly makes sense also. Okay, so leaf disposal, does anybody have any more questions on this line specifically, or can we move forward? Okay, all right.
We're going to table that line, right, Stacey?
Yeah, it's on, we're going to leave it open. We're going to leave it
I hope you'll be able to share your findings with the entire council.
Oh, absolutely, Mr. Cummings, definitely. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Recycling leaf disposal fees, $175,000. So, why was last year only $36,000?
Because we just paid all the bills and the...
We paid the bills this year. Okay, that's fine. If that's the answer, that's the answer. It was just a drastic drop.
We normally don't get them till well into the following year.
Okay, that's fine. I'm good with the 175. Does anybody have any issues?
No.
Okay. Brush disposal fees, $20,000. Okay. Yard debris disposal fees, $20,000.
Stacey, I was going to, you went with Bob, because now, Mr. Tovo, because we have the new chipper, are we really going to have a lot of brush disposal fees that, to budget 4 times the amount?
But last year they spent $28,000. Is that because they had to rent it, or?
No, we have not rented a chipper. I think what's happened in the past here is that the brush disposal fees are being charged to a different line. This past year we charged them to the correct line, and we do think the chipper would bring the cost down a little bit. That's why we're recommending 20 as opposed to 28 that we spent.
I'm good with the 20 based on the 28 that was spent prior year.
I'm just looking at line 230, what they spent. That's all. Hold, give me 1 second, Stacey, please. 305, 230.
So it's 124?
Yeah. 305, 230. Environmental renewal.
Looks like it's one company, yeah.
Bob, when did we get the chipper in August?
That sounds right.
Looks like they spent about, after August, it looks like they still spent at least 15, maybe more.
Yeah, but there's compacted mixed yard waste. There's all kinds of different charges for the line item. Compacted leaves, compacted mixed yard waste. All right, I'm okay with it.
Okay, so everybody's good with the 20,000 for 305-230, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yard debris disposal fees, 20,000.
Good.
Okay, green team. So here we have requested is 16.5, and administration has recommended 23.
Yes, we did add to that number because of purchasing trees for the residents behind Town Hall.
Yeah, and I also think this is a good idea for the increase, because if we're doing the plastic bags and we're going to be supporting the town with maybe buying some bags for the residents, I don't think it's a terrible idea, the 23.
Mr. Tola, you just said this is purchasing trees behind Town Hall?
And that's part of it, because the green team has a better line on trees than we do and better pricing, so when they buy their trees, we're going to buy along with them.
But that wouldn't come out of their budget.
No, that's why we increased their budget from what they've requested, so we can cover that.
Yeah, basically it's a one-time thing, then it'll go back down.
Well, it's still, even if we go to a request, it's still doubling their budget. Can we maybe have Mr. Sears and Mr. Scuderi maybe put together what they were anticipating, that they doubled their budget for 2020? Or do you have those notes, Mr. Mellon?
I don't have them with me, but I can email them to you.
Is that okay, Stace?
Yeah, we could leave it open. I mean, and I think they're going to
I'd just like to see what they want to do.
Especially with what's going on here. I think they're going to have also a lot more things involved there, too. So, I mean, let's get a plan from them. I think that's a good idea. Let's have the facts.
If we're still talking about buying the green giant arborvitaes for the row along the neighbor's property and planting them in the summer, I, for the last time, register my objection to early summer planting, because it's not
Should have
even
been done
happening.
already. Yeah, it should be done.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cummings.
These trees are all going to die because they're going to be planted into the heat of July.
Mr. Chabot, is that
You go ahead and do what you want to do.
Mr. Chabot, is this the trees that Mr. Cummings is referring to, or no?
They are, those are the trees, and April was the time frame requested by the homeowner, not by the township.
All right, goes what the homeowner knows.
Well, I mean, I think is a conversation then warranted with the homeowner to say, if we get the recommendation of somebody who knows how these trees survive the best, that we should go in that direction?
Well, the homeowner's right. Either we plant them, and Mr. Cummings is right. Either we plant them in April or we plant them in October. But we don't plant them in between, right, Mr. Cummings?
Yes, sir.
Well,
and more preferably not in April, and it drags on into May. And then you've got the heat of July.
Correct. The plan should be for October, but do we need to clarify that with the homeowner was really more my...
And the homeowner's supposed to reach out to me when they get back from their winter vacation.
Okay, I think that should definitely happen, that we should not plant trees in the hopes they'll survive the heat in the summer, and we should plan for October. Okay, so let's leave that open. Okay, so that takes care of this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just have a quick question. I just don't remember. Did something happen? Did we cut trees down? Why are we paying for homeowners' trees? Or why are we? What's happening?
We did. We cut trees down on our property, adjacent to homeowners behind Town Hall, because those trees were sapping on the vehicles, most of the police vehicles.
Gotcha. Yep.
So we removed it for that reason, and a couple of homeowners requested that we do replanting with non-sapping trees.
Well, these are the architecture of the arborvitaes is what's known as columnar, meaning a column, and it does not branch out and overspread the hoods and the rear decks of the cars that are parked over there, and that's the reason that it's the preferable planting. It won't sap up the cars any longer, and it will provide a visual block. Also, the green giant arborvitaes grow at approximately 18 inches to 2 feet a year if we're lucky.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm good with leaving this open, getting the recommendations from Mr. Sears and Mr. Scuderi, but I would also like to have a recommendation on when the trees are going to be planted, and then also get an agreement from the homeowner for this specific money so that we don't pay for trees that are potentially not going to survive. I think everybody agrees with me on that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that could be the action left from this, Mr. Tovo?
Yep, understood.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I think I'd like to end here, but I do have two public service announcements that I forgot to mention at the beginning, if that's okay with everybody. I just want to thank Sue and Mr. Tovo for their help with the Optimum Connection server upgrade. It happens on March 26th. I'm sorry, the WCTV's TV server upgrade to the Optimum Connection was completed on March 26th with a special thanks to Sue Wachowski and Bob Tovo for their assistance.
Anytime.
Okay, the other thing is that, again, we are recommending social distancing. Please, no social gatherings. Do not visit elderly or loved ones. Please use electronic devices to FaceTime or Zoom or make phone calls. And again, if you need assistance, please refer to the Township webpage for information from the CDC, from the town itself, and the New Jersey Health Department. Okay, and thank you very much to the council, to Sue, Mr. Tovo, Mr. Mayor, for a very productive budget session.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good evening, and everybody.
Time out. Motion to adjourn?
To adjourn, sorry, I forgot my job. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, you're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.